It's just another epiphany. With me, it's creative vibe. Got a lot that is on my mind. About to drop it on the beeline.
Hello world, it's me, Fabiola. So I wanted to record this before something happens and then I don't get a chance to do it. So I'm coming from work. Today is one of those days that I'm working as a set medic. And I have had the amazing opportunity to meet these amazing brothers. Their names are Anton and Anthony Downing. And they are on HGTV, and they have another TV show that I'm actually I'm on the set of, and that's how I ended up meeting them. But they're like these amazing twin brothers from out of Chicago, and they focus on real estate. But anywho, so from the first time I met them, like these guys have been dropping gems on me, honey, like bomb gems. But and today I had like a very in-depth conversation with Anthony, and I'm just like they had already told me some of their story, and I read their book, but it was just like a really like they're just more in depth, like really going into it about like just how they encountered success, right? And as I'm sitting there listening to the story, number one, I'm just like, dang, like I'm so proud of these brothers right here. Like they really did an amazing job, right? And one thing I love about them is the fact that they're still like, despite all the success that they have accumulated thus far, they're still so amazingly humble. Extremely humble, and I absolutely love and adore that about them. I thought to myself, like, yo, like I know that God has called me to basically do the same thing that they're doing, but obviously not in what they're doing, but in my own world, in my own field of expertise, but that's not what I look like at all, like what I'm doing right now. It feels a lot of the times like I have taken a severe step back. I really got the revelation that it's not a step back, that if anything, what happened is I'm in a slingshot. That's basically it. What looks like a step back is actually a slingshot. And if you understand how a slingshot is, it's like you have to pull back, and then when it's released, you're like you're accelerated. So that's what I know that I'm in the midst of experiencing, and I'm just sitting here listening to him talk, and I was just like, yo, this is so awesome, and that's what my story is supposed to look like at some point. And I just started feeling like I started getting very anxious and overwhelmed, like, yo, what am I not doing? Like, what part am I playing? Because I know the promises that God has for me. I know what I've been called to do. I know that I am so full of potential, but daggone it, like potential means nothing if there's no manifestation, if there's no actualization of the very thing that's been put on the inside of you. So today I had to, like, after having this, amazing conversation with him, I'm just like, yo, I need to really remain focused on why am I here? Why exactly am I here in California? Why is it that I'm doing this? Like, I know that there's a purpose, and once again, what seems like a setback, it's not a setup. It's not a setback. It's truly is a slingshot move. People are like, it's not a setback, it's a setup. The thing with a slingshot, the further you pull that thing back, that's the more, number one, you're creating more of a momentum, and that's the further you're going to go. You have to make sure that you are directing the slingshot in the right direction. Because if not, you're literally getting ready to propel yourself into the wrong direction. And honey, ain't nobody got time for that. None. That's not my story, because listen, 40 is knocking on my door. I am not too far away from it. I got dreams and aspirations. Not only that, plus I do not want these this time that I've spent away from my kids to be in vain. Like, no, we're not doing that, at all. And I know that God will redeem the time. There's a certain responsibility that comes that I have to do my part. And that's just the reality of it. So I had a moment to myself, and I said, Lord, like, what are we doing here? Like, and it's like, God, as he usually is with me, was just like, I already told you what to do. You just need to stay focused on it. Like, don't get distracted by these things. I mean, because I know, like, he put me here to even be doing the set medic stuff, but this is not the ultimate goal. This is just here to serve a purpose, And I'm sorry for the jiggling back and forth. LA traffic is boo-boo. It's boo-boo. Yeah, but anyway, so, and he's just reminding me like, yo, this is what you need to do. You need to do the steps that I told you to do a long time ago, but you know, I kept getting distracted with what's in front of me. And that's just what it is. I think oftentimes we have the blueprint is in front of our faces, but we get distracted by the lower hanging fruit, those things that we can easily catch, and it can be distracting. So yeah, so it's just like, okay, Lord, like help me to stay focused, help me to be disciplined. And just like, I think that when the opportunity comes for me to be distracted, I don't need to take the bait. Don't take the bait, Fabiola. Don't take the bait. But yeah, so I just wanted to record that. I don't know if I'm going to ever post this, but even if I just do it for myself and I just remind myself, Fabi, like all God's promises are yes and amen. His word shall not return to him void. You remember that, you fabulous woman, you remember that the creator of the universe created you to do for such a time as this. You remember that, chocolate woman, and anybody else who may hear this if I decide to post this later on. And just remember, like, you know, just like when David had the slingshot in his hand and he was getting ready to go off in front of Goliath, he was just like, who do you think you are, you uncircumcised Philistine? And this is exactly what I have to say to these circumstances or these thoughts in my mind that's making me feel like, wow, how can I ever get there? How's that going to happen? Like, I don't know who I need to know. Look at me now. Like, I would have never thought around this time last year that I'm sitting here like literally next to celebrities, like, you know, doing these things, you know, like, it's just, I'm freaking in California. Like, I'm in California. Like, this wasn't even, I didn't even know that this was even a possibility last year. Like, oh my God, how? This is more than what I could have ever thought or could have imagined. And here I am, not by my own strength, but because God placed me here, and then he placed me, in the right places, because this is my time. And not only that, plus when I think of David, like before, when he went up against the giants, you know, when he went against Goliath, like David didn't just like come up one day and he went up against Goliath. No, like he was getting prepared for a long time to do the very thing that he was set to do that specific day at that specific moment. And I thought about it as I was sitting here thinking about this story, hence the reason why I went ahead and recorded this video. Like, yo, God has been getting me prepared for a mighty long time. Like, this is something that's been in the making. You know what I mean? Like, I am the slingshot, like, that is my story. And when God releases it, it's just like, boom, the next thing that I'm about to encounter is like, he's going to release me off of that slingshot, and I'm going to go straight, not even for the jugular, I'm going straight for the head of the giant. Because the thing is that people don't understand is this, like, when you have a promised land, like God has promised you something and you're entering into your promised land, and I know, like, I'm like, I can't even say I can no longer say that I'm at the foot of my promised land. Yo, I'm in my promised land, like I'm in it. And the reality is this, what's in the promised land is giants. There's giants, and we're supposed to take them down. And everything, like whether it's the things that I needed to be healed from, that I needed to be delivered from, old mindsets, generational curses, these insecurities, like things about myself or whatever that I needed to just like learn how to grow into, about like creating like boundaries and all those type of things. Like, I know that, you know, God had to, like, these are little giants that I've been like, you know, God has been like helping me to slay. And I think one of the biggest giants that I'm encountering, like that's in front of me right now, was just self-discipline and just being able to focus, because that has been one of my biggest issues, you know, and just being consistent, all of that wrapped up into one, because I feel like that's one of my biggest, if not my biggest giant that's stopping me from getting to where I need to get to. So, and just like David did, like I'm about to take this slingshot and I'm going to propel, you know, just the word and everything that God has given me to be able to kill this giant. And I'm going straight for the head, because the head is the thought process. This is where the schemes and all that other stuff is conjured right there, and we're gonna shut it down, you know. So anyway, even as I'm talking this out, this is making a whole lot of sense. Maybe I will post this one day, and I hope if I actually do go ahead and do this, like it really does help somebody. So yeah, man, let's cut it out. Cut it, chop it down. We're gonna chop them giants down. We're gonna chop them giants down. Yeah, we're gonna chop them giants down. This Lamborghini is right on my tail. Okay, let me be careful. But anyway, that's a word. Okay, so we're gonna slingshot this whole situation. We're gonna chop it down. All right, bye.